5 days to go.
We've had chaps come in here who've been absolutely delightful. They've said what a marvellous race it is, and everything's been lightness and sweetness. And by the time they get to Fort William, they change characters. They're cursing the race, us, everybody around.
Oh, it's 11. Does it? That sails it back, it just pushes backwards like that.
This is the gruelling Three Peaks Yacht Race, a unique mixture of climbing and sailing and rowing, inspired by one of the most extraordinary yet self-effacing navigators and adventurers of the 20th century, Major Harold William Tillman.
He maintained that if you couldn't get all your organisation and all your plans for what you needed on the back of an envelope, then it was over-organised. And he saw it as just a bit of fun. Get in your boat, cost you nothing, you've got your boat, get in it, take a tin of bully beef and go. Stop at Carnarvon, nip up Snowdon, back again, have a race of it and have fun.
If Tillman were alive now, would he have agreed with the way his challenge has been taken up?
I'm sure he would have. I never met the man, but I'm sure he would have. Yeah? I'm sure a lot of people would approve this. I think it's, as somebody said, it's a bit British.
Not too bad at the moment. Let's see how it goes from here, though, eh?
For the little Welsh seaside town of Barmouth, the race is their very own World Cup. From the beginning of June, even the visiting holidaymaker is aware of the excitement in the air. Bill Tillman expected you to run and row and sail for 5 days for the joy of just participating. There are no monetary prizes, just a few cups and salvers. Bill Tillman must be one of the few men who fought both on the Somme and at El Alamein and survived both wars to return here, to Bordeaux and in Barmouth in 1947, after an astonishing career not only in both wars, but also in mountaineering. He was the first to climb Nanda Devi, the highest peak in what was then British India, in 1936, and he led the British expedition to Everest 2 years later. During the last 30 years of his life, he sailed to the far corners of the earth in elderly Bristol Channel pilot cutters, to Patagonia, Greenland, the South Shetlands and Iceland. 2 of his boats sank under him. He sailed to these places to climb otherwise inaccessible mountains. Tillman's niece, Pamela Davis.
He did expect people to be able to want to do things and to do them. Don't give in. Go on and do it. If you've set your mind to do it, then get ahead and do it. Yes, masochistic? Yes, probably it was. He did punish himself. There was no doubt about that. He wouldn't give in, and he wouldn't take things lightly.
At the age of 79, he was invited to join an expedition to the Antarctic. They sailed in November 77, and nothing has been heard of Tillman ever since. One memorial to Bill Tillman is contained in this extraordinary race. A sail from Barmouth to Carnarvon, a run to the top of Snowdon back. A 70-mile sail to Ravenglass on the Cumbrian coast, a 34-mile run to the top of Scafell Pike, the highest mountain in England. Then 250 miles sailing to Ben Nevis. The first pair of runners to the top and back win the race. The crew of the trimaran Staminade includes 3 women. Carol McNeil is the only one who has sailed before, but all of them are experienced climbers and fell runners. There is no handicapping, so the women are competing on equal terms with the Royal Marine Commandos led by Commander Sam Poole.
The boat is a Carter 39. She's 8 years old, built in 1973, designed by Dick Carter, the American, and built by the Olympic Yard in Greece. She's built like the proverbial, very, very strong indeed, as we found out on our way up. She was an out-and-out, or she is an out-and-out racing machine, built to be crewed by 9, so that's our first problem to get over in the workup.
His crew, Lieutenant Jeremy Heal. In the 79 Fastnet race, his yacht sank under him. Corporal Neil Bowman, a champion long-distance skier and British biathlon champion. Lieutenant John Rye, an Oxford Athletics blue and expert mountain runner. Sammy Sampson, the owner of the boat, and at one time Ted Heath, sailing master. The main challenge to the Marines is likely to come from other boats crewed by the services, notably the 40-foot-long trimaran Damart, skippered by Major Brian Littlejohns.
I reckon that the boat, in fact, is probably as fast as anything in this fleet, but only over certain types of weather. If we get northerlies and we've got to beat all the way, then the really big green hull boat, I reckon, may well take us. On the other hand, if we're going off the wind, I reckon we shall leave it behind.
His crew, like that of Samphire, consists of tough, super-fit service athletes, but they are not experienced sailors. How hard can they sail the boat?
As hard as I've got the nerve to, and I can assure you I'm very soft on the nerve at the moment, having I've only sailed it now about 300 miles, and we have 1 or 2 frights. But by and large, I think we're beginning to get somewhere. I suspect we'll probably never achieve more than about 70% of its optimum performance. But that might well be enough to win. I know I've got the best runners in the race, that's for certain.
The 40-foot trimaran races on level terms with the smallest boat in the fleet, a 22-foot E-boat. Each yacht has a maximum crew of 5, any 2 of whom run the mountains. One of the crew of Southerly is the legendary fell runner Joss Naylor. This is Fair Exchange, already part of the folklore of the first 3 races, the first one of which she won. Can John Chawner, a consultant gynecologist from Bangor in North Wales, triumph again?
Working jib! Working jib! Sorry, yeah. Mike, working jib, please.
The wind is a brisk westerly at force 5 to 6, producing bumpy conditions in the shallow water near the bar. As the boats motor sail out to the start, Caitlin of Ashton from Fort William collides with a spectator boat and puts a not too serious hole in her bow. Kitgord, a local boat, a Vindu 32, the winner of last year's race.
4, 3, 2, 1.
It's 3:30 in the afternoon on June the 21st, the longest day of the year. 22 boats start. As Samphire tacks across the bay, already the runners are playing a full part in sailing the boat.
I think that is what's going to make this race a great classic. The disciplines are different. I think yachties, if one dares generalize, are sort of happy extroverts, and perhaps runners are more introverted in their way. In the sense, we can't share their agony on the hills, but you can't drive a boat like Samphire with 3 people. So your runners have got to be part of the crew.
The trimarans, punching into the strong breeze, are making greater speed, but are being blown downwind. Brian Littlejohn's Damart skipper.
I think I'm beginning to understand the limitations of the design a little more. I think we're getting a little surer about actually exploiting its full potential, certainly when we're going to windward.
On Staminade, the girl runners, 2 of them sailing for the first time in their lives, are seasick, wet and cold. But as Chris West, the skipper, says, unmercifully.
Seasickness is temporary. As soon as your 2 feet hit the firm ground, you're off, you know.
On Fair Exchange, another set of runners, Ken Ledward and Mike Parkin, are getting to grips with the realities of sailing a boat in a blow. They too are sick, but still active. The RAF's hard-sailed Black Arrow, a veteran of the notorious 79 Fastnet race, in which she won her class. The wind moderates slightly, and Papageno, a tough Scottish entry from Troon, prepares to change up from the small number 3 jib to something more powerful. Damart too is going to add another headsail to increase her speed. In a straight line, it's 30 miles from Barmouth to Bardsey Sound, but as the wind is from that direction, the boats have to tack in a series of zigzags. Bardsey is notorious for its tide rips and overfalls. At 9 o'clock in the evening, Samphire is in the middle of one, quaintly entitled the Tripods. But having turned the corner, the wind has freed and is coming more from behind them, and soon spinnakers will be the order of the day. Close behind Samphire and Damart comes Black Arrow. "30 miles to go to Carnarvon Bar, low water at midnight. But now, as he forecast, Brian Littlejohn's Trimaran Damart, with the wind behind her, comes into her own. Ahead, Samphire is doing 10 knots. Damart is doing 12.
Extra pair of hands, please, at once. Up. That's it, no more than that. Right.
At midnight, Damart and Samphire start to negotiate the sandbanks at the bar. Both temporarily go aground on the Muscle Bank, but Damart, with her lighter draft, drifts clear and comes in to drop her runners at Carnarvon Quay half an hour later, the first boat in on this leg. It's half an hour after midnight. Samphire cannot start her engine at the allowed buoy just off the quay and has to sail in nearly an hour later. The race is on to run Snowdon and get away down the Menai Straits before the tide turns to ebb against them in 5 hours' time. The fastest time for the run is 3 hours and 52 minutes, but that was in daylight. Now the runners are going to have to negotiate the road and the ridge to the summit from Snowdon Ranger in darkness, with thick, wet mist on the top half of the mountain. Like all mountains, Snowdon is capricious. She has many sudden and violent changes of mood. This is what the summit looks like on a calm summer's day. And this is what it looks like in the early hours of the morning as the Army's Taffy Davis and Steve Harrison from Damart reach the summit. They are feet away from a 1,600-foot drop. On the quay, the RAF's Black Arrow arrives. It's 8 minutes past 2 in the morning. At the summit, Marines Neil Bowman and John Rye from Samphire, the second pair to arrive. It's just before 3 a.m.
What's the visibility like further down there?
Pretty bad.
Bad, is it? Yeah.
I can only see about 2 yards or so.
What time are you getting to Carnarvon?
056.
056. You're going.
How far are the others ahead?
10 minutes. Time now?
Exactly 3, mate.
Carrying their compulsory packs of survival gear, the runners follow the path of the mountain railway to Llanberis and then the road back to Carnarvon. The overall distance, 23 miles. Rye and Bowman ran those 23 miles through darkness and very bad visibility in an incredible 3 hours and 45 minutes, and the Army runners in 4 hours, 10 minutes. Samphire's John Rye explains the problems of the run.
Well, going up, we only had one torch between the two of us, and the track's not very easy to find because it was misty, and it's a night course. On the way down, it cleared at about 2,500 feet, no, 3,000 feet, so the run down wasn't so bad. We took about just under an hour to get to the turning up the hill, and took about 3/4 an hour to get back from Llanberis.
As dawn breaks on the mountain, the conditions at Clogwyn Station, just below the summit, begin to improve. At the quayside, the Black Arrow runners return at 6:30. Their time on the run, 4 hours and 18 minutes. They're back to a final discomfort. The tides come in. The fourth boat into Carnarvon was Big V from Anglesey.
What sort of a run have you had?
Bloody boat ride was terrible.
The running's okay, but the boating's hell. What trip have you had?
Joss Naylor, followed by Mike Walford from Southerly. Mike is running with a broken arm.
Oh, I broke it in a fella race last month, but the plaster's off now, so it's mending.
On the Menai Straits, the wind has dropped, and with the tide turning against them, the two leaders, Samphire and Damart, prepare to row, another of the delights allowed to the competitors in this race. Ragamuffins runners, Tony Walker, the head of extramural studies at Atlantic College, and Mike Kelly, a lecturer in geology, run Snowdon in 4 hours, 34 minutes. While the Army's Trimaran and the Marines in Samphire struggled to get to Puffin Island at the northeastern end of the Straits, against the tide and with no wind, a small part of the fleet, including Papageno and Black Arrow, take their courage in both hands and opt for the westabout route around Anglesey. 30 miles longer, but on this occasion to provide the wind that the rest of the fleet lacked. Late afternoon finds Black Arrow here, sailing in a perfect breeze towards the coast of Cumbria. The Marines have fallen 3 hours behind, but the Army Trimaran is still the leading boat, making for the awkward harbour entrance at Ravenglass, the harbour that is the joker in the pack of rules that apply to the race, because at low water it dries out, and the runners have to be disembarked in the inner part of the harbour. Low water tonight is just after midnight. No one else is near enough to make it. Can Damart, with her shallow draft, creep in within 2 hours of the bottom of the tide? At 8 o'clock, Damart's log shows that she has travelled 60 miles since leaving Carnarvon. Just 10 miles to go to the Cumbrian mountains. It looks as if it is on.
Well, we go straight through then.
Jack Marchant, on the right, the retired commandant of the Joint Service Mountain Training Centre in mid-Wales, offers his advice on the night run on Scafell, deceptively the most dangerous mountain of all. As they reach the Selka Buoy just off a harbour entrance, where the rules allow them to start the engine, they drop the spinnaker. But now, disaster strikes.
Did you know that, actually? Yeah.
In dropping the spinnaker, one of the sheets, the ropes that control the sail, goes overboard and wraps itself around the propeller. They will have to try and sail in, and in the meantime get the rope off, but time is running out. If they can get in, the race is in their pocket. They could be half a day ahead of the rest of the fleet. Army style, Ted Turner is the man who volunteers to free the sheet. He was the one who dropped it overboard anyway. Prior to this, he's only had 2 weeks sailing experience.
I don't know if I can do this. Pull in tight. Pull in tight. And again.
The rope is off. They can still just make it. Just motor in over the sandbanks, and they'll be 8 hours ahead. But the engine won't start.
Right, mind your backs. Ready to start, engine.
Okay, you...
Put it on it again. Off. Wait a minute. Damn it, you know what's happened, don't you? That appendix is not picking it back far enough.
Solid, mate.
What's it? Is the engine's jammed?
I think the shaft's jammed.
The shaft appears to be jammed towards the propeller.
Now they go aground at the entrance to the harbour. They must now wait till dawn, by which time they will have a large number of other unwelcome sailing companions. The race is still wide open. Dawn on the morning of Monday, the 23rd of June. Through the night, the majority of the fleet have been sailing gently towards Ravenglass and Scafell Pike in the distance. Ahead, Barmouth, which the army thought had an 8-hour advantage, is still hard aground near the entrance. Can any boat disembark their runners in time to get out on the same tide? It's never been done before in the history of the race. Samphire is the first to attempt it. She has a keel that can be raised and lowered. Even so, her rudder is touching the bottom as she approaches on the first of the rising tide. The moment of real triumph. Samphire motors in past the army trimaran, still fast aground on the sandbank at the entrance. The timing is critical for both the army and marine runners. The previous fastest time for the run has been 6 hours, 42 minutes. Some yachts might just get out before the harbour dries out again. It's now 6 a.m. Can any of the runners possibly do 34 miles to the top of Scafell Pike and back in under 5 hours? By all normal standards, it's impossible. But 3 boats have a chance: the Marines in Samphire, the Army in Barmouth,
Could I have the names, please? Kingdorf.
and the unique Joss Naylor, who farms under Scafell Pike and is sailing in southerly.
Not bad, yes. Good sail.
Morning. Morning, Auntie Mary.
The 34-mile run first of all takes them along the road to Wastwater and then the checkpoint at the Wasdale Head Inn. Scafell Pike has a sinister reputation, confirmed for the unbeliever by the number of climbers' gravestones in the nearby church. From the checkpoint, it's a straight race to the summit of the highest mountain in England. John Rye and Neil Bowman are the first runners up Brown Tongue, the murderous slope that leads to the base of the summit. It's 2 hours since they left the boat at Ravenglass, 16 miles away. Up Brown Tongue, then the runners strike away to the left and onto the scree that leads to the summit. The mountain slopes reflect on the surface of Wastwater below. The scale of the mountain is hard to comprehend until you see the size of the human beings who are scaling it this early morning. The marine runners are aware of the pressure placed on them by their skipper, Sam Poole.
If John Rye and Neil Bowman prove what we suspect, that they are immortal and they get back in 5.5 hours, if we've worked our neap right, there's a chance we can get out at the very end of this ebb.
They have made it to the summit in under 2.5 hours. There is just a chance they may get back to the boat in time to get out on the tide, but they will have to do the run back, 17 miles, in the same time as the run out, 2.5 hours. Now the mountain behind them is crawling with competitors, and Taffy Davis and Steve Harrison, the army runners from Barmouth, are not far behind. But the fight is also on in the harbour. Brian Littlejohns has moved his trimaran into deep water, but some people are not happy about the way he did it.
That silly twit! Bloody marked me boat! All the way down the side of it! Don't say you can't see it.
Tell us to go around that thing or what?
You're doing well. Got some water if you want it down.
Oh, drink the water, is there?
Oh, yeah. Services provided.
All right,
8:57 it is.
right, what's the time differential, please?
8:35 was the first crew.
22 minutes.
And you got...
How much?
22 minutes behind.
Behind, are we?
Yeah. And the next one's 10 minutes behind you. So you're not doing bad. Got a good chance of catching that tide out as well.
Right, come on, Stevie. No time to waste now, boy. Get off before this mist comes down.
The army runners now have the faintest of chances of getting back before the tide has ebbed, but it will require a superhuman effort on the run back. In the harbour, some boats, including Black Arrow, have already started to go aground. They are now stuck fast for the next 8 hours.
The Barmouth crew have gone down, haven't they?
At the top, do we?
Oh, we didn't see them.
Is this far enough?
No, we're a bit worried about them. Well, apprehensive anyway.
Hello, Auntie Mary! There's a special significance in that, I won't tell you what.
Do we look buggered enough for you?
Now it's getting to them.
Dr. Rob Howarth, one of the
It
organisers.
starts to get to them. They're tired, they've lost sleep, they're not getting the right amount of food. They're now worried. Don't forget, any decent skipper is now worried about a 250-mile sea passage where he knows he's got to push his boat more than he usually does.
The Marines made it back in 4 hours, 47 minutes. Samphire is already leaving the harbour. Damart's, Taffy Davis and Steve Harrison in 4 hours, 48 minutes. Their efforts have meant that just these 2 boats might stand a chance of getting out. Southerly and Joss Naylor are left behind.
Hand in right, go on, quick.
We're going to try our best, that's all. Jump on. Get them on. Hang on. Get those aboard. Leave that where it is. Anchor up. Anchors away! 5.5.
Samphire weaves her way through the shallow water near the sandbanks close to the inner bar.
We went just outside the dory. Moving close to starboard.
Now Samphire is almost free. It looks as if she will get clear. There is a feeling of elation on board. But their optimism is short-lived. Just 6 feet away from the deeper channel, she strikes a sandbank and is held fast. Now it's Damart's turn, but she at least can use the stranded Samphire as a marker.
5 foot. 5 foot. 6 foot. 5. 5. Still on 5. Steady on 5.
All Samphire can do is sit and watch. Now Damart touches the bottom, swings around, and not daring to move to right or left, starts to motor out, going astern.
Steady on 11. That's it. That's it. It's 11. Keep going. 11. 11. Coming up. 12. Keep going. Can't see it. There's no mark. 13. 13. 14. 15. 15. 14. 50, 50, 50, it's heavy on 50, 50, 50, 50, all right.
You've heard the big Uli's gone, haven't you?
He's gone?
Yeah, the big tri-job.
Trimaran got out.
Oh, the trimaran? Yes, yes. Sam Bull's out there. Can you see?
He ran aground trying to get out.
So the bad guys got away.
Right. Taff, enter in the log, will you? That we left Ravengard. Well done, Donald. Take out the whiskey, too.
Jubilation on Damart, dejection on Samphire.
When we dried out, there we were, 9 feet of water by the bows, and the skeg had buried itself into a lump of sand, and there we stayed.
The trimaran should be 7 hours ahead of the fleet, but she had been becalmed during the night. As dawn breaks the following morning, a somewhat complacent army team round the Mull of Galloway, unaware that Samphire, inching her way up the coast in light airs, has caught up and is now only 2 hours behind them. The Marines are having breakfast, totally unaware too of how close they are to Barmouth, just around the headland. The light wind is right on the nose, and Barmouth is in the traditional dilemma of a multi-hull. She can sail only to within 40 degrees of the wind, so she zigzags on her tacks, within sight of the lighthouse guarding Belfast Loch. Then up the Firth of Clyde to the island of Ailsa Craig. And down again to the Mull of Kintyre, where Ireland is only 15 miles away on the horizon. At this northern end of the Irish Sea, the tides once again run hard, and part of the art of sailing is to judge those tides, so that you arrive at headlands like this as the current turns in your favor. That is the theory. It is a skillful skipper and crew who can make it happen in practice. It's Tuesday, the 24th of June, and as the evening sun silhouettes the Mull of Kintyre, the wind is light northerly, the worst conditions for a trimaran. The leading boats, Samphire, Black Arrow and Barmouth, come in touch with one another again. Black Arrow and Samphire close inshore, Barmouth returning from another long tack out into the North Channel near Ireland. Barmouth's 7-hour advantage is gone. During the night, the lead is to change several times as the light airs die away to flat calm. The route takes the boats up past the Mull of Kintyre, through Loch Linnhe and the Corran Narrows to Fort William and Ben Nevis. Staminade has been becalmed since 3 o'clock in the morning. Even the girls have to row. Carol McNeil thought she had joined as an experienced fell runner. She's been rowing for 2 hours. Pushing a 35-foot trimaran through the water at 5 o'clock in the morning was not quite what she anticipated. A trimaran is difficult to paddle, and off Jura, the Marines with their long oars once again sweep past.
Well, that was lots. Sorry about the laughing match after dark.
By 10:30, Barmouth calculates that Samphire is 10 miles ahead with only 50 miles to go to Fort William. They have, if they are to stay in the race, to take a desperate gamble. They sail through the notorious Gulf of Corryvreckan, even on a calm day, a seething mass of rips and whirlpools. They are spewed out into the Firth of Lorne on the northwesterly side, hoping to find more wind. The Royal Air Force in Black Arrow find the wind between the islands, and for them the race begins again. Skipper Tony Chilvers.
Previously we hung on to Barmouth and Samphire until this morning. We ran out of wind as the tide turned against us. And we split opposite ways in the Sound. And we spent 3 hours anchored, waiting for wind, having breakfast and asleep. Then 3 hours rowing this morning as far as Corryvreckan.
The crews have little time to appreciate the stunningly beautiful scenery. Hours of rowing and changing sails make sure of that. Late in the afternoon, Black Arrow brings the wind on the beam and launches her spinnaker. 20 miles to go to the finish, through some of the most lovely sailing waters in the world. Papageno appears, once again in contention, sailed brilliantly by yacht charterer Ray Mackay from Glasgow. Now the leading boats fight to get through the Corran Narrows before the tide once again turns against them. Samphire hard on the wind. If it holds, the Marines will make it through the Corran Narrows into the upper half of Loch Linnhe. If the tide has turned, it will be at its strongest against them in the Narrows. 12 miles to go to the last hurdle, the run up the highest mountain in Britain. It's 10 o'clock on the evening of Wednesday, the 25th of June. The wind has died, and once again they are all forced to add rowing power to the limp sails. They are under 2 miles from the Corran Narrows. At 1 minute past 1 in the morning, Sam Poole steers Samphire through the Narrows. Behind her, rowing at twice her speed, the lighter Black Arrow making about 2.5 knots under oars. At 3:15, Staminade rows through behind them. How do they feel?
We rode all the bloody way!
5 miles ahead, Ben Nevis awaits them. Under the mountain, the lights of Fort William twinkle in the distance. Black Arrow is now a few hundred yards ahead of Samphire, both crews nearing exhaustion. They have been rowing for 5 hours, but they can't stop. A few minutes' lead now will be vital on the steep slopes of Ben Nevis. At 4:50, a crisis aboard Samphire.
And in a critical moment, one of the oar blades snapped. And I suppose service mentality, nobody said a thing, and out came another little oar, and we strapped on the blade to the relics of the old oar. We were back in business in a very inefficient way, and we rowed our hearts out.
John Rye, who soon will be required to give his all on Ben Nevis, is still rowing. 500 hours. Black Arrow is 15 minutes ahead, nearly at the buoy which marks the position at which engines can be started. But the tide is just about to start to run against them. The lighthouse and quay at the entrance to the Caledonian Canal is in sight for Black Arrow. On Samphire, the skipper and the navigator have to row again. This is Fort William. Half a mile to go to the marker for Samphire. Black Arrow has her engine on. She is at least 15 minutes ahead. There is laughter and excitement aboard.
Told you we'd do it! Magic! We rode all the way from the Narrows! They want to walk it, not run it!
They are there. Now it's all up to the runners, Terry Lewins and Andy Law. Terry is the Eastern County's 1,500-metre, 5,000-metre and 15-mile champion. Andy Law, a top-class marathon runner. They will reach their best speed on the road sections. On the mountain, the Marines could be faster.
See the sign, Andy? See the sign? Little red arrows. Hey?
The Ben looms in the background. 7.5 miles and a world of effort away. 15 miles to the top and back again to the quay and the finish line. Only those who have done it can understand the pain, anguish and determination that are necessary now for these two runners to make the summit. They may have a 20-minute lead. It could be just enough. Oh, 5:30. The Marines are making no headway. Something is wrong. Oh, 5:35. Lewins and Law pound through the deserted streets of Fort William. Ben Nevis looks menacingly down on them, the summit in cloud. On board Samphire, something indeed was wrong. Their engine ticking over had accidentally been put in reverse. They had been rowing against themselves. But now they have some wind.
Now.
Now the point at which they can properly use the engine.
Well done, Steve. Fantastic.
0540. The Royal Air Force runners, Terry Lewins and Andy Law, onto the lower slopes of the mountain. (0541). Samphire motors in.
Tenders. There you go, boys.
Neil Bowman and John Rye onto the quay at 5:45. They are 21 minutes behind Black Arrow. In the loch, Papageno, having rowed for 10 hours, passes the marker buoy. The 15-mile run takes the runners from the entrance of the Caledonian Canal at Corpatch through Fort William and then onto the rough zigzag path that leads to the snow and rock screes at the top of the mountain. It's the highest mountain in Britain, 4,406 feet. The first two runners back on the quay win the race. 6 o'clock in the morning and the Black Arrow runners are well on their way on the first section. The top of the mountain is covered in cloud. The Marines are onto the mountain. Papageno comes in to drop her runners. Andy Law. The pace is beginning to tell on the leaders. Neil Bowman and John Rye from Samphire. .400 feet above them, Terry Lewins and Andy Law of the RAF's Black Arrow. With every step, the Marines, Bowman and Rye, are gaining ground on the leading pair.
Over here!
The summit, 4,406 feet, just before 7:26 a.m.
Black Arrow, Law and Lewins. Gonna touch this?
Aye, up there. Lovely weather you've got,
Got water.
I've got some water here.
Just here.
You got some hot tea there?
Aye.
Yes, please. A quick one.
Hello, Auntie Mary.
Hello, Auntie Mary. Has the second lot passed that marshal number there?
He hasn't told us yet. You're doing well, lads.
Would he have said if they'd passed him?
Yeah.
Go on, Andy, 50 yards. Check me.
You guys didn't row in, did you? We did. Not that way, that's the edge, mate.
What?
That way, Derek.
Not again. Around here.
Aye.
Keep left.
Look!
Somebody else coming. Just the next two.
Straight ahead.
Straight ahead.
Over here, lads! Got hot chill water here for you, lads. Touch that white thing. Up you go.
Okay.
Aye. Straight up. Touch that white obelisk.
Both of us.
Aye.
Oh, I think speed did.
Aye, but severe, at least. Depends which route you take, lads.
Which one have I taken? The yes.
Gently. There's water in these up here.
Quick drink.
Okay. What you pop that one? Pop that one.
Cheers, thanks very much.
Good luck.
Thanks. We need it. It's bloody slippery.
Keep it going.
Caravan Control, this is Ben Nevis Marshall. Black Arrow and Samfire have both left the summit. Black Arrow arrived at 7:29, Samfire 7:30. There is 1 minute between the leading pairs. Out.
That was not the situation for long as they left the cloud-covered summit. Black Arrow's Terry Lewins.
They must have taken around about 15 or 16 minutes out of us on the way up, and they caught us up just a tenth of the way from the top on the way down. I was able to hold them till nearly the bottom.
Now the mountain training of the Marine Commandos was having a crushing effect on the RAF runners. But with their experience of marathon running, Black Arrow could be faster again once they were at the bottom on the road sections. The Marines have to build up a lead of at least 5 minutes if they are to be sure of holding them to the finish line. At the top, Papageno's runners approach the summit. At the bottom, the Marine Commandos leave the mountain for the final lap. Have they sufficient stamina to hold the marathon runners of the RAF just 8 minutes behind them? Stan Bradshaw and Tony Peacock from Papageno in third place, hurtling down the scree, taking the mountain at a wildly dangerous speed. Now there is only 7 minutes between the leading pairs, with just over a mile to go to the finish.
Hello, Auntie Mary!
The girls from Staminade, can they make fourth place? But it's the Royal Marines, Corporal Neil Bowman and Lieutenant John Rye, who come into sight along the side of the Caledonian Canal locks. Four days, 17 hours and 10 minutes from the start at Barmouth, nearly 400 sailing, rowing and climbing miles away. Sam Poole and his team, Sammy Sampson, Jeremy Heal, Neil Bowman and John Rye, have won.
Well done, Sam.
Sorry about the yellow wellies halfway up.
Well done, and thank you for making such a marvellous race.
Well, thank
Well
you.
done, guys.
Gosh.
Congratulations.
They've done it.
Thanks very much. Sam, this is a fantastic moment for you. How do you feel? How do you feel just now?
Very, very happy. Super crew and a super race. Thank you very much indeed.
7 minutes behind the Marines, the RAF Black Arrow runners, Flight Lieutenant Terry Lewins and Corporal Andy Law.
Yeah. You must have it.
Well done, fellas. Hey, take it easy. Well done, Andy. Well done, mate. Go.
Where's your blokes? Where's your blokes?
Congratulations. I just gone to get something warm on, but they'll be back in 2 seconds. What a run.
Finished it.
We saw you.
Well done.
Congratulations. A great race. Great race.
Well done, Terry. Well done. Sorry, fellas.
So, phenomenal.
Right. Well done. Fantastic. It's all right. Are you all right?
The Marines climbed the Three Peaks in a record time of 11 hours, 22 minutes.
Come on. Yes. She's been up all night.
Black Arrow's sailing time on the third leg won her overall second place. Ray Mackay's Papageno came in third.
That's a very fast time. That's a very fast time.
Yeah, fantastic. Stan.
The girls on Staminade won fourth place.
Cancel!
Major Brian Littlejohns and the army crew on Damart came in fifth position. Their gamble through Corryvreckan did not come off. Dominion, skippered by David Rice from the Snowdonia School of Adventure, comes in number 6.
Well, don't give up, chaps. There's another mile or so yet.
Fair Exchange finishes 15th.
I know there's about 30 boats to overtake, but you never know. They might all be calmed in a little spot down here. Yes. All the runners might have...
22 boats started from Barmouth. 22 boats finished. A fact that would have given Bill Tillman much satisfaction.
It was just as a grand race, marvellous race, not just because we won, but I think everybody loved it. Terrific companionship and, I don't know, I haven't got words. It was really great. And I think we're all tired, and just as it should have been.